What's up, everybody? I'm Jay, and this is Rising CPA.
Three, two, one, zero. All engine running. Liftoff.
These are the top 6 things you should know for the FAR section of the CPA exam. So let's get right to it. Alright, guys, so let's go with the top 6 things you should definitely know or expect in the actual CPA exam. Starting with number 6 are the CPA sample test simulations on the exam, meaning the simulations used in the AICPA's website sample test. Yes, the actual CPA exam may show simulations you've never seen on your self-study program, but they will probably most likely show some simulations that are shown on the AICPA's sample tests that are displayed on their website. So make sure to look at those sample tests provided by the AICPA. Number 5, why most people who retake the CPA exam fail. Most FAR exam retakers fail the CPA exam because they think what they were tested on in the first attempt is going to be tested again, but in different wording. Meaning that the same material they were tested on might be FASB or GASB, whatever they concentrated on, the examiners concentrated on, is going to be the same on the second time, which is not the case. The next time you take the exam, expect them to focus on different areas that they didn't focus on the first time. And like I do in my other videos, feel free to pause the video and read the entire slide so you can have more detail of what I'm talking about. Number 4, first time CPA exam test takers. Expect for the first time you take the CPA exam to be easier than if you're retaking it. Why is this true? This is why the people who pass the CPA exam on their first try also pass other sections on the first try, because when taking the exam for the first time, the CPA exam is relatively new and the examiners cannot change your exam based on your prior attempts, which they will do once you fail, to prevent cheating or CPA candidates from passing. So the program prepares you, whatever program you use. I use Becker, but the program prepares you for a first time taker. They don't prepare you for when you retake the exam. So they'll try to tell you how the exam is going to be the first time you take it, not really for when you're going to retake it, right? If that makes any sense. So that was number 4. Number 3, things definitely to expect in the actual CPA exam. IFRS questions. This is asked a lot on forums, a lot of stuff. How much IFRS should I study? Does it come up a lot? And to be honest, IFRS, you have to look at it. Look at it this way. IFRS is just a different standard, international standard used in different countries. The GAAP is a United States standard, which you're mainly tested on. So obviously they're not going to test you heavily on IFRS, but it's important to focus on IFRS and the key reporting differences between GAAP and IFRS. From personal experience, when I took the FAR, I got 5 to 6 IFRS MCQs the first time and probably 1 on the second attempt. So don't go crazy with the IFRS. Number 2, GASB, the governmental part of the exam. You should be familiar with how GASB financial statements are prepared and what items go where. Brief tip. I would focus most of the GASB focus on governmental fund types, fund classifications, and know how each type of funds are used by government. Now, GASB and IFRS are kind of the same. They test you kind of the same way, but GASB is tested a little more heavily because they go into more details as far as because GASB is more of a United States way of accounting. So they mean when they're talking about governmental, they're talking about the United States government, not another country's government. So they want to make sure you understand how governmental financial statements work here. And as long as you can prove that, you should be good. I wouldn't focus on any of those detailed topics like governmental lease accounting, things like that. Yeah, I would know how to do it, but I would not think that there are going to be a lot of questions on governmental lease accounting. Yes, on FASB lease accounting, but no on governmental lease accounting. Anyways, number one, FASB. This is the most important topic you should definitely expect in the actual CPA exam. FASB, FASB, whatever you want to call it, is about 80% of the exam. You should be familiar with how the FASB, GAAP financial statements are prepared and what items go where. Know all the links between balance sheet, income statement, cash flows, etc. This will help you understand how to answer majority of the MCQs. Super important. Also know how assets liabilities are measured in either balance sheets or income statement. What I mean by that, measuring dates. If you put uh, a marketable security, let's say market derivative instrument. Let's say it's a trading debt security. You know, it's measured on the balance sheet on by its fair value. If you are reporting a trading security on the income statement, you know it's either sold, because the only time you are reporting on the income statement, it's when it's sold, or when, let's say, you suffer a credit loss or something of that nature. Held to maturity securities available for sale. Know how these marketable securities are measured. Where do they go in the financial statements? How do they affect the financial statements? And what transactions need to take place in order to properly document them when they happen. That was just an example, but is just understanding the connections between the financial statements and how to report any sort of transaction when it comes to FASB. These are the topics you need to really emphasize on and know what's going on. I wouldn't do that for GASB, or I wouldn't do that for IFRS. I would do that mainly for FASB because it's 80% of the exam. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys like the content. I hope you guys like the information. If you guys have any questions, comment, subscribe. Feel free to ask me anything. Email. Good luck on your CPA exams, and keep on rising.
3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.